YouTube. This is cflfanatic once again. My panelists, Ryan, Ben. That was kickoff for the 92nd Grey Cup when the Argos beat the BC Lions 27-19.
When they were actually good.
Argos.
When they were actually good.
Those were better days.
Yeah, Damon Allen.
Stop crying.
Oh,
Damon Allen.
I know.
And Alexei.
I know. They're gone. Let's talk about the game on Sunday. Okay. So we're going to be having a little bit of a discussion today. We've talked about offense, we've talked about defense, we've talked about special teams and coaching. So why don't we talk a little bit about the officiating this year? Which I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed.
What did they pay these guys?
I don't know. Too much.
They must have taken them from the medal awards and just said, "Hey, you want to play? You want to watch some football and make some calls?" Sure.
Too much money. That is how much they get paid. Stop watching the game. Make eye contact, Ben. Okay. Anywho, so the officiating has been a little lax, and this year it actually we'll never know, but it might have cost a team a win. Namely, and this is surprising, the Owls.
The Owls
were cost a potential win against BC. Coburn actually tried to and did run it into the end zone to tie the game twice. But both times the officials couldn't figure out which way it was up, and so they had to do it a third time.
Man award.
in which instance he was stopped.
Yes.
So obviously a bit of miscommunication on the refs' parts in that game.
Yeah. They certainly haven't been the greatest this year. It's evident in actually many games, unfortunately, where the tides were turned for a certain team.
Yeah. I want to provide an opinion on this matter because it's and I know there are some people who might think it's kind of controversial, but I truly believe that when the Argos play the Alouettes, it is never a fair matchup on as far as officiating goes. I honestly do not.
Well, that's because we pay the refs.
That's right. Except for the Grey Cup, then.
Of course. Well, that's when they don't take bets. When they don't take
That's right. And Montreal's kind of down on that.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Yes, it does.
I'm just joking, all you Alice fans out there.
Yeah.
But honestly, I bring up an instance where there was a punt. The Argos were punting. They've done that a lot.
Oh yes.
But they were punting, and Larry Taylor was back, and you could see in the corner of the screen that there was actually a blocking, that one of the Montreal players was blocking a Toronto player from behind. And this is interesting. The official waited until he was absolutely certain that Larry Taylor couldn't get anywhere before he threw the flag. And I have to assume from that he knew that if the flag was thrown, it would have negated a big return from Larry Taylor. So he might have hesitated on that play. I also bring up an instance where Andre Dury had, I think it was a kickoff return or a punt return for a touchdown, until he was on the 25-yard line, and the Argos guy laid a great block on one guy, and he was flagged for it. It was called an illegal block, which I don't agree with at all.
Well, the refs certainly haven't been the greatest this season. But
Definitely not. I also,
when you're picking from a medal award.
Yeah. I also bring up the fact that Bart Andrus and Zeke Moreno a couple weeks ago were fined. I believe it was $1,000 each for complaining about an official's call, which I think is.
How do you get fined for argument?
I think it's especially when you consider I don't think you should be fined for voicing your opinion, especially when these refs can't seem to do their job properly. They are getting paid to basically
make the right calls.
They seem this year that they are getting paid, and they're still not doing their job. It's like a brain surgeon, who's supposed to be operating on your brain, saying, I didn't get it all done, but hey, I got 80% of it. I think that's pretty good,
Yeah.
So you won't be completely mentally disabled for the rest of your life. So
hey, maybe that brain surgeon worked on the ref side.
That's right. Okay.
Great point.
So now let's get down to the moment that you've all been waiting for, the picks this year. And we'll start with Ben. Ben, your pick for Sunday's game.
Rough Riders, all the way. The best quarterback.
The best.
Oh
the
my!
best
Don't
quarterback.
make. Okay.
Come on.
All right. I'll bring up the stats if you really want to be punished. Anthony
fine.
Calvillo, more yards, less interceptions, more completion rate, more touchdowns, more years.
Yes, 16 years to first-year starter.
One, probably the most Grey Cup experience in the league right now,
Most likely, yes. He's had
and I
plenty
really
of that.
probably even has a stronger arm than Durant too. So,
He might. That's debatable.
well, but he's more accurate with when he does throw. so.
Definitely.
Durant can run.
So Ben is picking
So-
Saskatchewan. Yeah. Sorry,
Durant,
you were.
Durant can run. If he's rushed in the pocket, he can run. Can Calvillo run?
He doesn't need to run. When he gets rushed, he's the best in the league at going 1, 2, 3, and he drills it right to him. It was even brought up in the.
The speed is ridiculous. Okay.
It was brought up in the TSN panel just a couple weeks ago how he's the best in the league at it. They showed 10 videos of
Well, that fact can't really be disputed.
him.
So.
No, it can't.
Okay, so Ben is going with the Riders.
Riders
Going
all
with
the
the
way.
underdogs. Ryan, your pick. I think we
Montreal, and maybe my shirt might have been in the light, but no, I don't think they're going to be beaten. It's been disputed because they don't have the best track record in the Grey Cup. That they won't win this year, but honestly, they're 15-3, a franchise record if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Yeah.
First in the league for just about everything, and their quarterback has so much experience. I don't think there's any way that Saskatchewan can win unless they pick up their act and play the best game of football in the history of CFL.
Okay. Interesting. Well, once again, a difficult pick. cflfanatic does not know who he's going to choose.
Artist.
Yeah. Can I choose these guys?
Yeah, if all the teams die.
Well, on paper, it would definitely seem like Montreal would statistically crush the Riders,
Yeah.
and that is true. A 16-year veteran versus the rookie. But I look back a couple years ago when the same thing happened, and Kerry Joseph, the league MVP, found himself playing against Ryan Dinwiddie, who was making pretty much, actually it was his first CFL start in the
Grey
2007 Grey Cup. So they did end up losing that game, but it came down to the wire.
They did.
It was 53 seconds left before Saskatchewan intercepted a Dinwiddie pass. So he didn't look great, but Durant is a rookie this year, and he's not making his first start in the game. So I think the intensity could bring out the best in Durant, and Montreal, I do have to look at this 1-5 track record. 2000, a loss to BC. They won in 2002 to Edmonton, lost in 03 to Edmonton, 05 to Edmonton, 06 to BC, and last year to Calgary. So I think that Saskatchewan might join the ranks as one of the many teams that beat Montreal in the Grey Cup. I am going with the Saskatchewan Roughriders to win on Sunday.
All right.
So, you know what? I'm not going to be disappointed if Montreal wins as long as it's a good game, which it undoubtedly will be. So, both of you, thank you for accompanying me on this panel. Myself and YouTube definitely appreciates it. So,
Anything for YouTube.
what would we not do for YouTube? So, for all of you, thank you very much for tuning in. I will probably post another video after the game to recap it a little bit, and then I'm pretty much done for the season. I'll probably upload a video or two if some major news breaks out in the off season, but other than that, I'm pretty much done. So thank you very much for watching CFL Fanatic's Grey Cup panel for 2009. I will see you on Sunday.